So what can I help you with today?
I'm having issues with kids at school.
Okay, I can see how that would be really stressful. Relationships are very important in our lives. They are directly related to feelings. We have this concept in psychology called the interpersonal model. Not to throw jargon at you, but positive relationships lead to positive feelings, lead to fulfillment, to a sense of self, a high sense of self. Whereas negative relationships can lead to anxiety and discontent. So relationships are very important, and it's very important to have healthy ones. But you do have to remember that we have a relationship. One of the key tenets of psychology is a healthy relationship is communication. So if you need to use our relationship here as a template for your future relationships, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm always here to provide feedback, to let you know how you are doing to uphold your end of the relationship and how this may translate into your personal life. So use me, I'm a tool, I'm here to help. But why don't you tell me what specific problems you're facing?
I have no one to play with at recess.
Okay, I can see how that can be very stressful, and I see that you're very anxious about this, the way that you're holding yourself and touching your face and fiddling with your hands. That's really hard to deal with, I can understand. And how do you feel when you don't have anybody to play with?
Lonely and confused and upset that no one will play with me.
That's more than fair. That's a perfectly logical reaction to that kind of situation. I can understand how that would be upsetting. How do you approach the other children and ask them to play with you?
No.
Okay, I see. So you anticipate you would like for them to come up to you and ask you to play with them. Why haven't you asked them to play with you before?
I guess I'm scared.
Okay, well, I can understand that. New social situations are always very stressful. You do seem very closed off, though, from just the way that you're holding yourself, from what I can see, and that it's always hard to enter into new social situations and develop new and meaningful relationships with people when you're closed off like that. So would you like for you to work on that in the future? In terms of what you can take out of this session with you into your life to help develop these relationships, is maybe I'd like for you to use a lot of I statements. I would like to play with you, of course, but more to the point, I feel sad when you don't want to play with me, or I feel lonely. And while this might be a very straightforward strategy to take, I think it can be very helpful towards developing meaningful relationships, especially once you get to a more deeper point in your relationships with these children that you're trying to interact with. So in terms of homework, I'd like for you to, over the next week, ask one new person to play with you during recess every day. Do you think that you could do that? Okay, I think that that's our best bet for getting you to the place where you're developing meaningful relationships and putting yourself out there. And even though it sounds scary to make yourself vulnerable like that, just the act of trying and of experiencing this at least once will make you see that it will be okay, and will make you more self-confident. So I'd like you to try that, and then when we meet next week, we will see how that went. Does that sound good?
Mm.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for coming in today.